I wish you a nice evening. The second day of PyCon PyData Berlin is already almost over, but the best part is just ahead of us, and these are the lightning talks. Yesterday, it was long. Today, it will be also, we have at least 1 hour of time. We have plenty of submissions. Well, I don't remember them all, but I have a small sheet of paper where some people noticed them for me. And I have to appreciate actually what challenge you gave to me, because lightning talks are usually numbered by integers, but people were using fractions and float numbers, irrational numbers, so I just had to sort them accordingly somehow. We have to do 2 changes after yesterday. Lightning talks usually take 5 minutes, but if they are announcements, invitations to events, they are only 2 minutes. And this, we are going to do it 15 seconds, not 30 seconds before the end, so you don't have to clap so long time. Now let's start with the number 0. That's Katarina and Katarina, Liquid Democracy e.V. I would like, everyone knows who is going to give a lightning talk. I would like to ask you actually to move nearby so we can start switch quickly. And I will always announce the next one. After that, there will be Lisa with Correlated. So, okay. Katarina, stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, so as you...
No clapping before lightning talk, sorry.
So, we are both Katarina, and we work for Liquid Democracy e.V. And we want to use this talk to just give you a short introduction into our work there. So, Liquid Democracy is a non-profit association. We are based here in Berlin, in Neukölln. And it was founded in 2009. And maybe as a fun fact, it actually evolved out of a working group of the former Pirate Party. But yeah, that's long ago. We are a small team of 20 employees with diverse backgrounds, obviously software development, like the 2 of us, but also people from social or political sciences are working at Liquid Democracy. And we have a vision that is a democratic culture in which active participation is a given for everyone, because we believe that participation is really important for a working society. So with our work, we try to make it easier to both initiate participation processes, but also for people to take part in them. And how do we do that? So on the one hand, we spread our knowledge about participation and organize events and workshops on that topic. But mainly, we design and develop online participation platforms. And also, together with partners from civil society, politics, and administrations, we concept and implement participation processes. And to give you some examples for that, so in 2020, we built the platform Enquete-Beteiligung.de for the German Bundestag. That was a participation process where citizens were asked for their opinion about artificial intelligence, actually. And the outcome of that participation was then used by an enquete commission on that topic for their further work. And another project we did was Civic Europe. That was an idea challenge where organizations from all over Europe could hand in ideas for projects that needed funding. And the community could then vote for the winning ideas that then actually won the funding. And last but not least, we also develop and maintain meinberlin.de, which is the participation platform of the Berlin Senate, where the different Bezirke districts can initiate participation processes. So it can be little things like, where would you think that a new playground would make sense in your area? Yeah, so their citizens are really included into decision making. And now, Katarina.
Yes, you might have guessed why we are here. It's because we build our platforms in Django. Our code is open source, and we use a core library called Adhocracy4 to define the basic models and concepts that we use in these participation processes. One of these models are the modules, where we have different ones. you can choose from. And the idea challenge, for example, is to collect ideas and then prioritize them. And a variant of that was used for the Civic Euro platform. For the Enquete Commission, we used the debate module, which is to discuss topics that are given. For Mine Berlin, the initiators can actually choose any module they want to use and can then fill in the information for the modules in this initiator backend. And the most important or interesting information are the phases, because they have a start and an end date, and they determine what the user is actually allowed to do during the participations with the help of Django rules. So for the idea challenge, for example, we first have a collect phase where the users are allowed to create ideas and comment on these, and then a rating phase where the ideas can be rated. And all our modules are combinations of different phases with different rules. So for the user in the front end, it looks like this during collect phase. Yeah, the submitting ideas is allowed, so there's a button to submit ideas, and also the list where they can go on to the detail page and then comment there. And that was already our tour through what we do, and yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. Now comes Correlated, and Cornelius can prepare. I have not introduced myself. I'm Miro, together with my wonderful colleague Chuck. Stand up, please. And in between, we have prepared some questions for you. So who is not for the first time at PyCon DE knows certainly when was the first PyCon DE and where? Who knows it? You get one red point, an insignificant red point.
Leipzig in the...
Yes. Are we prepared? No. Okay, another question. Name all the cities where PyCon DE took place until now.
Oh, we just know one. Someone told us before there's one already. No?
So there was
Anybody
Leipzig,
knows?
now it's Berlin, and in between there have been a few cities. Who knows?
There's how many more? Like Berlin, Leipzig, and how many more? Oh, there's one hand there. Oh, you know, you're like a frequent PyCon DE attendee, so you must know.
Organizer.
From Leipzig, we moved to Cologne, and then we moved to Berlin, where we had one in 2014, and then we moved to Karlsruhe, and then moved back to Berlin.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay.
Hey, woo! Again, there's no prize for this game. But yeah, I've been to the Kosovo one. Like, I really like it there, but it rains a lot. I don't know. I remember the sprint. Who has been there in 2018? Who was there before? Yeah, you remember? Like we go to that like small place that have pizza. That we go to sprint there. Remember? Yeah, that was very nice. I want to have a sprint again. Maybe one day. Maybe. Yeah.
Can we start? So here we are. Please, 5 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and no clapping. No clapping. Okay, hello everyone, and thank you PyCon DE and PyData Berlin for having me on stage to talk about Correlate. So please raise your hand if you have heard of Correlate before. Okay, I see some hands. For those of you who haven't, let's change that. So Correlate, in a nutshell, is a network of over 2,400 people who team up with non-profit organizations to support them with data-driven tools. And now I will tell you about some of the many things we do in the Correlate community and how to get involved and find out more about us. My name is Lisa, and I have been an active Correlate community for over 5 years. Back in 2017, I joined a pro bono project during my studies because I wanted to gain more real-world experience outside of university. And now it's 6 years later, I'm not in university anymore, but I'm still engaged in the community. There's a lot going on next to the project, and I made some really good friends along the way. And Correlate is now my best source of memes and the place where my nerd humor is understood. So Correlate's mission has 3 parts, and I will cover each of them briefly. The first one are the data for good projects. They are always pro bonos and with a focus on applying and expanding the volunteers' knowledge and skills. The projects are usually in R or Python, but there's also some web development and software engineering projects. It usually depends on the needs of the nonprofits. I brought you some examples to give you a better idea of what we mean when we talk about data for good projects. So one is the cargo bike project, where the volunteers improved cargo bike routing by using image data from local streets. That was an open data project as well. And then there's the beekeeper project, which was about anomaly detection in beehives so that the beekeepers can monitor their bees remotely. And those were 2 projects that involved machine learning, but not all projects do. Some are also just data analysis projects, like the soup kitchen project, where time series analysis was used to get a better understanding of sales in a German soup kitchen, and to improve the meal planning and stocking of the soup kitchen. What I personally like about the setup of all the Correlate projects is that we always have a spot for a learner, so that even if you can be part of the project, even if you don't have the skills yet, but you are curious and want to learn them. So back to the mission overview. This was just a small portion of over 60 completed projects since 2015. Now onto the education part of Correlate, which involves empowering nonprofits by building up their data skills. And we have several offers for nonprofits. One is a 3-month online learning program. So we have a so-called Datensprechstunde, where nonprofits can book a slot with Calendly to get quick answers to their questions. And we also have a PR team who run the Correlate blog, a podcast, and our social media accounts, and share information on topics relevant to nonprofits. You should really check out their work. I'm a huge fan of how clean everything looks. The last part I'm covering today is the Correlate network. So the main aspect here is that next to the decentralized projects, we have local chapters where you can find small projects that grow out of the local community. And the local chapters usually meet monthly, and I would definitely recommend checking them out if you are curious. Then there's a multitude of other community internal happenings, such as our annual CorrelCon, an annual meetup, a mentoring program, a superb jobs board, if you are interested, DataViz code nights, and I could go on. But now I want to extend a warm welcome for all of you to join us, if some of what I just talked about sounds interesting to you. Correlate is open for all people who respect our code of conduct, and if you can't commit to a project because it's too time intensive, there are many other ways to get in touch, for example, locally or in the internal workings. So bring yourself, and don't be shy to bring your own ideas as well. You can find us next to Blue Yonder.
Thank you very much. Now comes Cornelius with PowerPoint, with Python, and then Raima. Are there any Python, CPython core developers here? 1, 2, 1, 2. I see only 2. Okay, so if we ask for 3 names, that's probably too few, no?
But do people know their name, though?
Okay. So hide your name badges.
That's very tricky. Or you can name whoever that you know. Maybe you follow them on Twitter. Maybe you follow them on Instagram. Maybe you follow them on Mastodon. I don't know. Yeah, if you follow them on the street, that's creepy. Don't do that. Yeah, so. But can you name 3 C Python code developer? Yeah. But you have already answered, so maybe other people can try. Have you talked to them before in the conference? Yes, no? Maybe you can remember the name. No. Oh, you're starting?
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have Cornelius, we are 5 minutes, and then Raima. Yep.
All right, so today I'm going to talk about how you can automate your PowerPoint presentations with Python. So first of all, I have to say that I got this data from my employer Königsweg, who is sponsor of PyCon. It is all anonymous, so nothing to worry about. This could be an example presentation for the ticket sales of the PyCon since 2017. But since by now we have the new data for 2023, you would have to update it. And since I'm not very sophisticated with PowerPoint, how I would do it is delete the slide and add a new one with a new plot, update the number on the side here, and so forth. And that can take really long and can be really annoying when you have lots of slides with a lot of plots and numbers. But fortunately, there is a solution, the PPTX Python package. From that, you have to import the presentation module, and here we have a little class where you put in the template that you use for your PowerPoint and the title of your presentation, and just like that, you have created a new PowerPoint presentation. This dictionary is not really necessary but helpful because it lets you access the ad layouts through their names instead of an ID number, which is more complicated. And now you could have this a function like this for adding the slide where you put in as the parameters the layout, title, text, and plot that you want to have on the slide. You get the layout through the dictionary from before, and at the new slide right here, you put in the layout. And now we have a couple more dictionaries here. It doesn't look pretty, I must admit. But again, it is helpful because now you can access your placeholders, so the title, the text, and the image, through their names with this dictionary instead of a number ID, which makes it way more easy. And now you can just say, all right, the text of my title should be what I put in. Same for the text. For the plot, it is a little bit more complicated. You first have to save the figure as an image file, and then you can use the insert picture function, and then you're done with that. And now you could have a little build presentation function like this where you put in your parameters, and at the end you save the presentation under any name that you want. And that is it for the code I want to show you. And now I'm going to do a little live demonstration. I hope everything works. So if we run this here, everything works good. We have this presentation that you saw earlier already with the sales from 2017 to 2022. But now we have the new data, so what we do here is just change the data path and the name that we want to save it under to 2023. Run it again. And as you can see, a new presentation just got created. And as you can see, we have a new plot, the number is updated, and presentation is done. Thank you very much.
Now comes Raima, and next would be Jean, PythonSearch. And what question do we have now? Yes.
Skip that question, because I know they are presenting next, so maybe people can remember the name after they present. So skip that question. The other.
Which one?
The core dev question.
No, about the integer.
Huh?
Who can tell us what is the largest integer that you can create in Python?
What's the largest integer you can create in Python?
Yeah, there is one behind you, Chuck.
Yes. Hi. Oh, okay. What's the number?
If I remember my crypto course correctly, it's unlimited, so you can just go.
It's not. It's unlimited. It's not infinity.
I think maybe we have to like define the question a little bit better or something.
So
Give us a hint.
how would you write it? The largest number? Well, you have to write your code, and I ask you to create a large number. So how would you create the largest number?
Give us a hint. Give us a hint.
I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. That doesn't make sense.
Is it the largest number that you can create in Python, or the largest static?
The largest integer number is, well, it could be infinite, but okay. So I just expected that someone maybe would give us some very large number, but
Who want to give it a try? There's another one.
There is someone who wants to give us a larger number.
Yes. 2 to the 64.
Okay, you won the prize. That's all. Okay, we are prepared? Here we are.
To talk together a bit about packaging and building for science. So we have some more effort, we have libraries, and we want to exchange them easily. And yeah, was a starting slide, and because Wolf joined me, I will change a bit and I hand over for him. So you will see all of these parts a little bit inside, and now go.
Yeah, I was really lucky that I got a 1-minute spot from Reimer, so it's a lightning talk and a lightning talk. And so we've been working on some new tooling in the Conda space, which is written in Rust, and I asked Midjourney to generate an image with a crab and a snake, but it didn't really come up with anything useful. I tried again with the Rust logo and the Conda logo next to each other, but again, pretty weird, but the Conda logo kind of is there. Anyways, we have been building at prefix.dev, we've been building a new library that's called Rattler, which is actually a bunch of modular crates that are written in Rust. And they are really low-level libraries to read, modify, and solve for Conda packages. And we'll have Python binding soon. And we have also worked for the past 3 or 4 weeks on a new tool called Rattler Build, which is a fast and revolutionary way of building Conda packages. It's much nicer, in my opinion, than Conda Build today. So if anybody of you has experienced Conda Build, then hopefully Rattler Build would make your life easier. Well, we've implemented one recipe format, and now we're kind of thinking maybe we can model it even more after GitHub Actions. So that will be an interesting development. If anybody is interested in joining these developments, then feel free to look this up. And then I also wanted to make a really brief pitch for prefix.dev, which is a really nice website to look at CondaForge and BioConda. Now I'll hand back.
Yeah. Oh, that's not on the screen completely, but so, no idea. So they have a problem with this QR code, but that's not the thing. This shows Anaconda.org. And this, if you remember back in 2012, the Python community has a great year, because at this time, someone had the great idea to make deployment, building much easier for anyone, and there was Anaconda created. In the same year, we also have the birth of NumFocus and had the first PyData conference in New York. And also, for whatever reason, this was a global event, also the Python Software Verband was founded. So and this was a big thing. And you see here what happens. We have now 30 million users using Conda packages of Anaconda, and they are from several regions, and there are a lot of downloads. And these downloads, they also create costs. So and if you are in a company which are for profit, you can give some money back to Anaconda, and Anaconda itself can then also serve the open source community with other repositories like the CondaForge repository. This has about 57 million downloads monthly. So this it means network traffic, and if you have a company and you are able to pay for Anaconda, then do this, because this helps the open source community to serve the PythonSearch repository. And this is also, is also backed up by companies who have the core devs for this and who helps with stage recipes. And yeah, you see it's a lot of effort for open source stuff, which can be used from anyone for just sharing code and getting on all platforms the packages for that code. This picture is from today in the morning. If you look at now at this QR code, it may be different because all times people upload packages. Update packages are also done by bots, automated. This is also a community effort of GitHub Actions, bots they're running. And this helps us to keep all the things done. And important is also the Mamba org. Thank
you very much. Next one is Jean.
Okay.
Yeah. Then comes PyData Amsterdam. So the next question is tabs or spaces?
Tab or spaces. How about people who think tabs, clap your hands. People who think spaces, clap your hands. Do we have an answer for this question, actually?
Oh, that's great. That's,
okay.
Oh, how many spaces?
Oh, how many spaces? Okay. How many? How many? Oh, someone clap 4 times. Is it 4? 7? Who said 7? So, someone put up their hand at the back. Can you shout out the magic number? No? No? You don't want to? No? It's not? Okay. Someone shout 42. I think 42, you will like be, the whole code will be spaces. I don't know whether you want that to be, like, it will be very long. But anyway, are you still setting up? Okay.
When we are already clapping, maximal line length.
Oh yeah, line length.
Trick is going to count the claps.
Or you can like come out and like do push-ups with how many line lengths? Oh, so it's kind of like a voting thing, right? Like how many, okay, how many think the maximum line length is 108? No? How many think it's like 90? Okay. How many think is, I forgot the answer. Yeah, like, so what do you say?
Let's have a little voting here. So who thinks it's more than, it should be more than 70? Okay, keep clapping if it's more than, keep clapping if it's more than 80. More than 90? More than 90? More than 100? More than 110? More than 120? 130? Okay.
I can speak for them because now you can get a very long, like curvy monitor, so maybe that's why. Who got one of those monitors, actually? Let me know. Wow. Lucky you, because I only have a laptop. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
5 minutes.
Hello, is it working? Can you hear me? Yes, awesome. So, yeah, in the title, my name was only there, but my name is Jan. I'm doing together with my brother-in-law, Eneas.
Yeah, hello, I'm Eneas.
So let's get started. So PythonSearch, we want to talk about open source project that we are working together. And let's go talk about it. The first thing about it, what is it? And so it's an open source assistant with a search engine in it. optimize it for automation. And it's 100% in Python. Even like the data is in Python rather than like normal documents as you might think about search engines. It's very efficient for collecting and retrieving information, and it goes beyond retrieving information. You can also interpret information. You can also refactor, because everything is in Python. With that said, Eneas will, one thing more. So this is how the UI looks when you're collecting some information. Let's say you get a URL, and then it gets converted into Git, which turns out becomes Python. And so each one of these entries of the search engine, they are basically a string key and a value that is a Python dictionary, which is very extensible with all the power of Python. With that said, we're going to show you a demo that Eneas will walk us through.
Yeah. In this demo, I just copied a command, in this case htop, with some values attached to it. And I opened the UI, I gave it a descriptive name, htop process manager with delay and monochrome color. Set it to CMD, tested it quickly that it works, and there it is already. If we now look at the Python file, here in the end we can see the entry itself. How it looks like in the string format.
Yeah. You have to trust us.
Yeah. It doesn't like us today. So this is the main search UI. Here we don't use a graphical UI, but rather a FZF Kitty terminal, which is modified to be very fast and sleek because it's always present. As soon as you open PySearch, using a shortcut usually, it will be immediately there. But it does more than just search UI and retrieval. You can also execute all kinds of data you save through that UI immediately. So then here's another demo.
Yes, in this demo, we basically show how to do a contribution to PythonSearch itself using PythonSearch. We didn't want to run the demo here because it would basically be risky. But basically, one is editing the file there in the repo, committing it, creating a pull request, and visualizing the pull request, using all entries that are already registered in PythonSearch. Yes, that's it. So beyond that, I just want, Eneas will talk about the types of data that we have.
Yeah, we have three main types of data. First off, data in form of strings and URLs. Second, Python code that you can either have as a code snippet or to execute it directly from the terminal, basically. And bash code. That can also be 10 bash commands in a row being executed, which really helps automate all kinds of tasks. And we have many more than just those three.
Thank you, Eneas. With that said, I will just walk through some other features. So we have an optional data collection component, so everything you do will be recorded, and we use that as a data set to basically do some data science on top. So it's 100% local. So in the search and ranking space, we have a semantic search component and a next item predictor that will try to basically guess which entry you're going to need next, so to make it really fast. We've been playing with some LLMs. For instance, you can have like assistant entry generation with ChatGPT or others. Every entry can have shortcuts, and it works on Mac and Linux. And we are working on a web app. Not sure when that will get released, though. Yes, with that said, just a shout out, if you are interested in such a thing, to get involved. I mean, we are looking for developers, practitioners, designers, and you can learn a lot about, you can share about these topics, basically. That's our talk, so thank you, folks.
Thank you very much. Now comes PyData Amsterdam for 2 minutes, and then we have Johannes tour us through the Python standard library. So you're already clapping so happily. Now the next question you can answer by clapping is, what is your favorite text editor and why is it Vim? Okay, Vim, Emacs? Nano? Ed. Then what we have, VS Code.
It's so
PyCharm. Notepad. Jupyter Notebook. That's nice. Thank you. Huh? Oh, yeah? Anything else? So, anyone didn't clap until now? Punch cards?
Actually, my favorite one was Atom, but it was Sunset.
Okay, now we have PyData Amsterdam, 2 minutes. Here you are.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Nikki van Dommeren, and I'm here today with Sophie van den Berg, and we are both from PyData Amsterdam. And yesterday, we got inspired by one of the talks by Patrick of DoWhy. So we decided to create our own graph with a recommendation for you all. So if we run this, we get the following. So if you like Python, and you would like to sponsor open source, we recommend you to go to PyData Amsterdam. If you like the community, you met some cool people, you want to bring them to Amsterdam, come to PyData. If you like this conference, and for many of you it was the first I heard in the opening, and you got inspired to give a talk, you can do so. Call for proposals open soon in PyData Amsterdam. Then I also heard many of you saying you really like the food over here. In the Netherlands, we have stroopwafels. So if you need an excuse, come to PyData Amsterdam.
Yeah, so we're actually really, really excited to be able to share with you that the PyData Amsterdam conference this year will be held from the 14th to 16th of September. You guys are the first ones to hear this, actually. It was only internally shared so far. Yeah, so if you'd like to attend, talk, sponsor, yeah, we would love to see all of you there, or some of you. The call for proposals will be online next week or the week after. Also tickets sales, so have a look at our website. We had our last conference in 2019, but we will go a little bit bigger this year. So yeah, really excited and hope to see you there.
Thank you very much. Johannes, prepared? And the next one will be check with EU's proposed CRA law and why we care. Yeah. Okay, today we mark an anniversary. It's exactly 16 years since the release of Python 2.5.1.
Happy birthday, Python 2.5.1.
Anyone wrote a line of code in Python 2.5? I did. I started with Python 2.5. Yeah. That was a nice version. It introduced the with statement, I think. Yeah. Generators. We had no F strings in those. Oh, well, in those times. We had plenty of stuff that we didn't have at those times. And I would like to ask you, who can tell me it was not in the version 2.5? When did Python drop the support for curly braces in the syntax?
I can hear some laughter. Oh! So the answer is?
Never. Right. Okay, Johannes, prepared? 5 minutes. Stage is yours.
Okay. Hi, I'm Johannes, and I would like to give you a talk and a tour through the Python standard library. Because Python comes famously with batteries included, and I think it's really useful to know and really useful to remember some of the gems that are in the standard library. So here are a few of the gems that I like especially. The daytime module is awesome. It will help you stay sane for a really long time until you descend into madness. And you only have to know time delta and daytime and perhaps time zone, and that will get you a very long way. until it's too late. There are collections, especially useful are named tuples, which will help you to get your code more readable if you use a lot of tuples. Default dicts, which will, instead of raise and key arrow, they can just return you a default value. And counters, which just make it really easy to count the amount of stuff in a list or in whatever. itertools is really cool. If your problem feels like it's a combinatorics problem, then itertools is for you. So whenever the question is how many possibilities are there to take so and so many with or without replacements, this is what you want. There's the OS and the subprocess module, which help you do stuff that you would normally do in a shell. So create files, move them around, create directories, run shell commands. This can be done here. And the timeit and seep profile module will help you find out how long your code takes to do something. They are really easy to use and they are built in, so it's just a nice first step for profiling. And then there's Turtle. Well, actually, Turtle is not something I use on a daily basis, but Turtle is awesome for getting beginners to understand how coding works and how Python works. And actually, that is one of the most important things we have in Python, because not everybody is doing data frames and machine learning and stuff. Most of us have started at some point. And it's, in my opinion, really important to know and important to remember that there is a part of Python that is just for the beginners. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have saved 2 minutes, but we still have collection counter, a lot of proposals here. Now, Chuck, then we will have Valerio with Python. He brought some pizza and pineapple. Pizza with pineapple, Valerio. Ah, pineapple ban. Okay, the next question. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Check.
Right. Hello. So, yeah, we're having so much fun in lightning talk, but I would like to have a little bit of change of tone and talk about something quite serious. Who have heard about CRA? 1, 2, 3, a few of them, which is scary, because I'm here to tell you about what is CRA and why we should care about it. Who remember GDPR? Or who remember the time before GDPR where we were not asked, like, from all the websites that do we accept cookies, right? So what I want to tell you is that a lot of these kind of regulations and law affect us every day, especially developers. Now, we have this CRA, so what it is. So what is CRA, right? It's something that is happening in Europe. It's a new act that is proposed by the European Union. And if you want, I will show you the link later. You can read the whole thing. But, you know, if you don't want to read the whole thing, I have seen a few of the blogs that basically what the idea is to like put this label. So I guess now we're in Europe, you have seen this label, everything, like your appliance, your toaster that you bought from the, from the shop, they all have this label, which is kind of like a guarantee of, certain standard has been fulfilled, right? So it's safe to use that toaster. And now we are, the act is trying to propose that we apply that to all the software, so it's safe to use. Which is a good thing, right? But in open source, things are a little bit different, right? Who have seen this picture before? Yes. So a lot of open source projects, we all know that it could be, right? just someone started this project because they have a problem to solve, and they have solved this problem, but it's got like, you know, so it got viral in today's term, and everybody was using it, and they are trying so hard, just like one-man band trying to maintain it since like 2003. We can't ask them to kind of demonstrate that this small piece of software, which is open source, is compliant to the Act, and you know, they may be like, you know, they don't have the time because they are maintaining the project, it's already very busy, and they do it like on a volunteer basis, or if they ask another third party to do it, it will be quite expensive because you have seen how complicated this thing is, right? So, and so actually in the Act, if you read all these like details, there's actually certain thing, I think it stated on like Article 10 or something like that, that's like saying that, oh, like non-commercial activities are exempted, so are we safe? Well, but what is a commercial activity? Because now, you know, a lot of popular open source projects, actually, it won't be so easy to use or very like smooth without the support from some companies, or, you know, or some people donate to them. Is it okay after this? You know, is it kind of suddenly become commercial if you know, sponsor your favorite project? Or, you know, if, you know, some company, if they develop this tool, they plan to open source it, maybe they will think twice because, well, now I have to make it compliant, right? So maybe it will be very expensive. Or, you know, even if you are, for example, you work for a company, maybe your company suddenly decided that, oh, we can't, you know, let you do open source contribution because, you know, it's, again, you know, become commercial activity and we can't prove that it's compliant and we can't use it and, you know, very complicated things. Or even some projects, right, they are backed by a company that like the funding of that company has come from a cloud service that they provide with that open source software that they developed. So, yeah, so there's actually a lot of worries from the open source community about it. And I think more people should really know about it, and we should actually get more information and voice out our concerns. There are already, like PSF actually posted a blog about their concern, and I think we should read it, and they have some call for action there as well, especially for Python users in Europe, so please, you know, this is the most important slides. Take a picture, and then all this. I will also post this link on Discord for those of you who may be watching it online. So yeah, also there are other blogs, other open source communities are voicing out their concern. And there's the link there, the CRA thing, you can, if you have time, if you want to read it, it's there. So please, take a picture of this and look into these things. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chuck. Do we have Valerio for 4 minutes? You need 4 minutes. Okay, you are two of them, so we have 4 minutes. How much time do we have left, Alex? Because are we going to be thrown out at past, or yes? Past, okay, so we have like 10 minutes left. Okay, so now let's clap a little bit more. What is your keyboard layout? Who is using plain QWERTY ANSI keyboard layout? Who is using the German or Austrian Querz? Azerty. What's there? Dvorak? Kolemak? 2 or 3 separate keyboard parts with their custom layout. Forgot anything? QWERTY with Compose key. Great. Anything else? Cantonese. So now we have some pizza and ananas. Pineapple, sorry. English is the only language where it is not called ananas. Here you are.
Nice.
4 minutes.
Thank you very much. Actually, I have a quite bold presentation here. It's Python, pizza, and the pineapple ban. It's a very serious topic after what we listened to. And to be honest, that was actually inspired by this sticker, and now I have it on my laptop. This was actually, it's literally a slice of pizza with a pineapple ban on it. So I started wondering, well, why Italians hate pineapple pizza so much? Asked ChatGPT for that, but then he told me I'm an AI language model. I don't know anything about that. So, well, I can tell you for sure, that's the standard Italian reaction when you have pineapple pizza. When it comes to pineapple pizza, actually, you might imagine something quite straightforward, though. So what could possibly go wrong? Well, if you have a quick search, you can have pineapple pizza cake. You can have wrong pineapple pizza, still not edible. You can have pineapple pizza horror. I think it's disgusting. And you have the inverse of pineapple pizza. It's actually, I don't know. Well, in all seriousness, actually, this ticket brought me lots of good memories, and that was back in 2018 when we had Python PyPizza event in Naples, and I think it was probably one of the first, not in Berlin, that was actually in Naples, and it reminded me that in Python in Italy, Python Italy, we have a vibrant community of Pythonistas. We have different sub-communities there, PyRoma, PyMilano, PyTorino, and Python Pizza as well, which also brings me to remind you that actually PyCon Italy is happening. And as you can see, PyCon DE now is our best and favorite conference. We do have tons of keynotes, talks, trainings. This year we have Django Girls as usual, but we also have Samantha Cristoforetti joining for a Q&A. That's super fantastic. There's a schedule on the website. We have alternatives, and actually we do together, that's fine. We have alternatives to pineapple pizza. Way better, I promise. We have Garden Stage, 2 social events, and the conference is going to be from the 25th to 28th of May. You can check out the website and python.it. Before leaving, I just reminded that I forgot to tell you what is my favorite pizza, and in essence is the most simple you can think of. It's like tomato sauce, mozzarella, and basil. And if you, by the way, speaking of basil, we do have a conference in Basel. That's a fantastic segue, isn't it? So, yeah. You should see the next one. So we have EuroSci-Pi, and to be honest, it's going to be 14th to the 18th of August. Basel is the place, as you must have guessed. But we do have actually the call for proposal open now, and you can check out on pre-talks. We do accept different proposals, different topics: general purpose Python, scientific application, high performance, machine and deep learning. And so for EuroSci-Pi, we do actually have the call for proposal open, but for EuroPython, actually, it's closed. But now it's time for, this is my segue, sorry, that's stupid, yeah. It's up to you now.
How do we go from there?
Awesome, yeah, good.
But it's not there.
Oh, you're right. You should see something, yes.
Okay, now I won't be able to see it, but...
Yeah, you see that.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So I'm here to talk about yet another conference, which is happening right before the EuroSci-Pi, but unfortunately the CFP is closed, as Valerie mentioned. I'm here to talk about EuroPython. Who heard about EuroPython before? Okay, not everyone. So EuroPython is another Python conference. It's big and it's old. It's been running for about 20 years and it's been traveling all over Europe for that 20-some years. The CFP is closed, and we also had the community voting and the reviews, and that is also closed as of right now. So we're going to publish the schedule soon, and go to europython.eu and everything's on the website.
Thank you. And the last one, because we have to finish in 5 minutes, Marc-André, I forgot to introduce you, but please, do you have some time for us? Would you come to stage? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now I have a question.
Yeah.
Which year is EuroPython here in Berlin? Do you know? Have EuroPython in Berlin? You know?
I think 2014, right?
There were ice cream here? Oh, okay. I don't know about it because I love ice cream, by the way, if you don't know yet. So yeah, EuroPython, please go and check out the website, I guess. Any more questions for our...
Yes, we have maybe one of the 2 last questions. What happens if you import anti-gravity in Python?
You fly, but do you run? Because the next talk is
Yeah,
about...
so you have 5 minutes. Here you are, Marc-André.
Thank you. So you can see my slide. The question of the talk is there or will there be a future for PyRun? How many of you know PyRun? That's what I thought. So a bit about myself. I think it was already mentioned. I'm one of the core developers. I also ran EuroPython for a couple of years. I was PSF board member and lots of other stuff. I run a user group in Düsseldorf. So if you're in Düsseldorf, then please consider attending. What is PyRun? So PyRun is something that we created a long, long time ago in the end of 1990s. And it's been going on ever since then. What we wanted to do is we wanted to have a very, very small Python distribution. Something that we can just ship out to clients together with product code and then have them run it. So what we did is we took the CPython binary, we added the complete or more or less complete Python standard library to it, and we put everything into a single binary. And you can then, of course, very easily ship that binary around. Uncompressed for Python 3.10, it's just 16 megabytes compared to your normal installation, which is something like 200 megabytes. And if you compress it using UPX, everyone knows UPX, right? So it's a compressor for binaries. You can boil it down to 5.2 megabytes, which is really tiny. I mean, it's basically the size of an image. It can run more or less all the Python code. We regularly use it internally as well as a virtual engine replacement. It's very easy to ship around. Like I said, it's also great for container images that need to be small. And it's open source. It's Unix only because we only use it on Unix, but it could potentially also be ported to Windows. So let me see whether the demo gods are with me. I just need to find my cursor. There it is. So this is it. If you do a complete installation of PyRun, then you also get some extra files with it. This is basically done to be able to compile code. So you need the include, you need the lib directory. In here you can see the file sizes, which are really small. Let me do this, it's easier to read. So as you can see, we have 60 megabyte for PyRun 3.10. If you want the debug symbols included as well, which you normally don't, then you have to pay some extra. And the UPX one is 5.2 megabytes. And you can just take that file, oops, that was the wrong one. You can take that file around, just copy it to a directory, and let it run. Or anti-gravity, I don't think this works in a shell. I don't know what this is, but anyway, you can see that it works, right? Or you just, trust me that it works. So why am I presenting this? Well, first of all, of course, to let you know that it exists, that you can actually get it. But the main question there is, I want to know whether I should invest more work into it, because it supports 3.6 until 3.10, and the work to make it happen with 3.11 is going to be significant because there are so many changes in 3.11 in the underlying C API and also the internals of how everything works during startup. It's going to be a lot of work. So I just want to ask you whether you're interested in this. Just, clap. Okay, so that's like a fair amount. I don't know if I'm going to invest much time into this. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marc-André. So there are a few more left, but it's 6:30, huh? It's 6:30, and we have to finish. But after PyCon 2013, there is certain 2023, there is certainly PyCon future. I would have a last question, very quick question. How would you fix or correct the phrase Romanes eunt domus? Because it's not correct Latin. Correct. But I am not going to send you home, because there is still, Alex is going to tell it, certainly social event, Enjoy Berlin. I thank you very much for being here, and see you tomorrow at 9, I think. 9? 9? 9. Oh, yes? Announcements are at 9.
How's your evening going to be? All settled? What's like?
I think I'm going to see the social event a bit.
Oh, that's very good. So I can get you like really drunk tonight. You will still do a great keynote tomorrow.
Let's see.
Okay. But talking about this social gathering. No, stay here, please. Social gathering. You can bring up the slides now. Thank you. Social gathering. As you know, we have the social gathering tonight at the BCC. It requires a wristband, one of these. I hope everybody here has gotten a ticket and a wristband. Yeah, sure. Who has a wristband? Okay, so you're all good. Do you have a wristband? Really? I'm sure?
I will have one.
Oh, yeah,
certainly.
yeah, that's your wristband.
Thank you.
Well, here you go. So Mir is also all set. So please act responsibly. We decided to have the social event here tonight, and we just said, okay, hand out wristbands. So please, if you don't have a wristband, we're very sorry. If you didn't get, if you weren't able to get one, we're really sorry. We had to limit a number. Also for the social event, even stuff is really hard to get nowadays. So, so please, if you haven't, act responsibly. See you tomorrow morning, but please don't hang around in the building. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Please act responsibly. And I really want to also thank our sponsor who makes this happen. It's Octopus Energy. They have a booth downstairs. Check by. They have really cute pink octopuses. And now I would really say, yeah, enjoy the social gathering, and thank you very much.